Hi, everybody. Welcome to here in my mini chit chats. I have here Marisa with me from your virtual desk, and we get to talk about a lot of fun things today. We get to talk about, running an online business and also home learning. And of course, we're both in the same industry and how we don't feel the competition at all. And it just feels like more of a community that we work together. So I'd like to have Marisa introduce herself and we get on to the chat. So yeah, hey, hello.
Hi everyone. I'm Marisa, as introduced from your virtual desk. I'm a single mum who's really enjoying home learning along with everyone else right now. I've been a VA for 18 months, just over 18 months now. So thoroughly enjoying what I do, and it's been a bit of a blessing being able to do this now, given our current situation with COVID and, home learning and being able to be home with my kids to be able to do it. However, it's certainly, I'm not going to take away from how difficult it also is trying to do both amongst everything else, really.
Yeah. I think that's what we were chatting about earlier as well. It's kind of like, you're both, you're the business and then also your home learning. I mean, your home learning. And it's hard because it's like in this situation that we're in, it's already difficult for us as adults to manage the lockdowns, to manage the like in and outs of all the things that are going on. But you think about also like the children, they're affected as well, like, mentally, and like how there's so much things that we have to think about. And like I know we also talked about with our clients when we have to do work, it's not like something that you could just put it aside about, I'm going to do this really quickly and then I'm going to go back to home learning. Like there's a lot of thinking factors, and if you are home learning, the kids come in and they have questions, so it's like you get pulled away from the work. So it's quite hard. And I think the funniest part is, to me, is like the kids like I think it's because the kids adapt faster sometimes things, but sometimes they don't. And it's just like if they can feel our energy, when we're like stressed out and we got a lot going on. So like with you, how do you feel like you have managed the business and also like home learning at the same time? Like where have you put yourself in those things?
It is such a juggling act.
Yeah.
I think, and you're right, like you try and sit down and do your work for your clients and you can't get any momentum, and that's the most difficult thing. And the kids then come in and my kids are young, I guess they're 6 and nearly 9, and so I've got to sit with them to do their home learning for everything. There's very little that I can't leave them with, and my nearly 9-year-old has ADHD, so I have to sit with him to get his work done if he needs a lot of help, and I can't just leave them to it. So I'm trying to split my time between both of them, which is so challenging because they both need me and want me, and neither of them want to do the work, but they're also just like, oh, I'm ready to do it now, like, can you come and do it with me now? And I'm just like, I'm one person, like I can't be in both places. And then they argue because like, oh, your sound's too loud on your laptop and your sound's too loud on your iPad, and I can't concentrate because of this. And I'm just like, okay, that's great. And then you're trying to do that while all the time in the back of your head you're like, oh my gosh, I have this huge list of client work that I've got to get to, and when on earth am I even going to get to that? It doesn't go anywhere. And you still got to get them food and make lunches, and you're like, oh, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? And you've still got all of that, and you're trying to run a house as well, and trying to balance everything is so difficult. And you work at ridiculous times.
We mentioned that earlier.
And like, send an email at 1 o'clock in the morning because that's when I have to try and get work
quiet
done.
time or like space.
No one's talking to me. No one's coming in to ask me about something that they want to eat that I don't have in the house. So
it's like, what do you mean you don't have my favorite yogurt? It's like, I don't know. Like, so I get it.
And I don't want any of the food that we have. Well, it's the food that we have. I can't make it just appear out of thin air. So please, I'm trying to attempt, this thing for my client. for the 4th time today.
Yeah.
And it's a huge juggle, and I think that's that's the battle of trying to run a business and trying to do home learning at the same time. And the more I think the more this goes on, and we've got a kindy chat going on, and all of the mums in the group are just like,
I think I think sharing the awareness that you are, because I think when we were talking earlier, you were saying to me, and I was like, oh, I thought it was just me, like, like I said, my poor neighbors, like, I was like, the stuff that they hear that comes out of this house, they're kind of like, because like even earlier when I was telling you about the whole like gummy thing, they're like, I want the soft gummy. I literally smoked that thing. And my neighbors are probably like, I wonder what's happening there today.
Like, okay then. And that's the thing, like, frustrations are so high, but they're high for us because we're trying to get all of the things done, and we know we're trying to be so many different people, and we're getting pulled in every single direction. And as well, on top of that, just dealing with being in lockdown in general, which is a huge mental load. But like you said earlier, the thing is that I think a lot of people forget or don't consider is that's actually a huge mental load on our kids as well. And I know that my two are really suffering. My eldest is a massive introvert, so for him the whole concept of being at home and doing home learning wasn't such a bad thing, because he doesn't really like school. So he's not exactly disappointed he's not at school, but I can tell he's missing his friends and having that social aspect. Whereas my daughter needs to always be amongst people and doing things and out. And I can just see them both deteriorating in different ways. And it's sad to think that I've got a 6-year-old who I can just see having such a mental struggle with what's going on. It's really hard to even know what to do to help them, because as adults we're not coping, and we're trying to figure out how to get through. And when you have to tell them, well, you're not going back to school this term, they haven't seen their friends in 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and they're not going to see them for we've got the rest of this term plus the holidays, so they're not going to see their friends for at least another like 5.5 weeks at least. And that's really hard on them as well, so their frustrations are high, and they're getting cranky about everything that is just not necessary.
I know.
But
because you're talking about the toy thing, remember? You're like, that's like the toy's been sitting there for hours, and somebody touched it. They're like, why are you touching my stuff? And you're just like, oh,
And you're like, but you weren't looking at it. You didn't even care. You didn't care about it ever. You haven't looked at that for 6 weeks. Why?
Why now?
Why is this a problem right now? And that's where they're pulling, everything becomes an irritation. It's kind of like, when you're already in a bad mood and everything annoys you, and it doesn't matter what it is, like someone could just breathe the wrong way, and you're like, that person is breathing too loudly. That's what it's like for them, I guess. Everything irritates them that normally wouldn't. And then the longer we get into this, the worse it's getting. So when you're trying to balance their not great moods with home learning that they don't want to be doing, and then trying to run your business, you just have enough. Like it's really hard. There's no other way to describe it.
That's why I like what you said about like having the mental health Fridays, like that, like right there. Like I think that's like one of the best ideas, because I think it's not just for you, because obviously as moms we definitely need it, but
need it.
The kids are just like, it's like that pressure waking up in the morning, like, oh, we got to do this, not having to, and you're just like, so it's good. Like I want to do that for my kids.
Like the kids can just take a breath, and that's why I just meant we're not like Fridays, that's it. And because it's a huge load on them, it's a huge load on us, and because and you're right, you get up in the morning, you're like, oh, like it's like what fresh hell today, because you know that you're going to have a battle on your hands. And like last Friday when we did it, oh my gosh, just the change in attitude in the kids, like they knew we were taking it off, and they just were so much happier from the beginning of the day, and I was as well. And we made no plans to get up at any set time, whereas normally like, okay, we're up, we're doing it. My kids are up really early anyway, but I just went, you know what, I'm not setting an alarm, not doing anything, we're just going to cruise into our Friday because we all needed that day. And while I know my list of work is as long as my arm and then some, I needed that time as well, to just recharge, and just have a moment of not stressing about all of the work I have to do and any of the schoolwork that I have to do. So it made a massive difference. I think like I said, the longer we're getting into this, the worse it's kind of getting for everyone. And that's, you know, that's what we're going to do on Fridays. I'm just going to go, the kids and we all need to breathe.
And I think that's even when you all go back to, you know, like schooling and like going back to your business, you have more of a clear mind, you know, as like, oh my God, I gotta do this. And I've noticed this because last Thursday we kind of did like a mini break, and I felt like on Friday when I went back to, you know, to work, I got more done. Like I got like, I only had like, I think 3 hours to do things, but I smashed everything. And I was like, I think that's what it is. I just needed, like, because I was worried too. I was like, crap, like if we take this break and after do this and this, unless I do want to stay up till yay high, you know. But at the same time, it's like, it was so much better, you know, like I'm not saying it fixed everything, you know, it's not like I went back and I was like, oh, my work is just so I came in it with a better attitude. And again, it's just, you're right, like I think it's a good idea, and I think I'm gonna take that on from you, like, you know, do like a day.
You get like, because you get overwhelmed, and the thing is, when you get overwhelmed, you're so much less productive because your brain is going around like 100 miles an hour, and you're trying to think of all the things that you've got to do, and then you're like, oh my gosh, and then okay, what do I do first, and trying to get it all done, and you know, you're not productive because you just can't think straight, and you're exhausted. When you are, and you're mentally exhausted, when you're mentally exhausted, it is so much harder to get motivated to get the stuff done, because you can look at this list and you're like, I know I have to do it, but someone like push me to do it, because you're like, can't get there.
Funny you say that, because I that happened to me where it was like, I'm not really, grammar and spelling is not really my thing, but so I have made it to the point where I got to check it, because I know I make mistakes. So like one of the things, I made a list. It was just like a 4 bullet point list, and I put, instead of blog posts, I put blog posts. And then my client was like, "You didn't put blog." I was like, "I don't know what it is." I was like, "You get what I'm saying? Please don't judge me on that." But it was just, but it's not any, like, I know he was just kidding, but it's just like, those are the things, you know what I mean? Like, you end up, and it's just, you miss little things. So I think it's right to just kind of have, and that was, I think, that was the Thursday morning, and I wrote it because I was already so tired, or you know, so when we had that read break, Friday was so much better. Like,
and that's the thing,
I could check my stuff, you know. And well, I'm glad like you gave me that tip, because I definitely want to start doing that, because again, it's just like, it sucks like they're gonna miss school, but I'm just like, I need to miss stuff to just refresh.
And I think, you know, we're so worried about, oh my gosh, like, you know, what's the school going to say, and what are the teachers going to say? And I'm just like, these kids need to chill a bit, because this is really hard on them also. And just like some days, you know, if you're working in an office, and you know, some days you're just like, oh, today there's a lot on, there's been a lot going on, I'm not feeling it today, and I'm struggling. You know, you've got someone that, you know, people can pick up the slack, and we don't have that doing this, but neither do our kids. Like the kids are just expected to get it all done, and that's the thing, we sometimes feel like today's just, it's not going to happen, and we've got to take it slow because we're just not there. I think we forget that the kids also need that break in that as well.
I didn't realize that in the beginning, for sure. Like when we first went, you know, like we had lockdown, the school holidays. But when we went
Yeah.
Monday, I was like, okay, we gotta get this done. And then after the week was like, the first week was like, okay. But then after that, I was like, we gotta do this. And I think I didn't realize that. And then I saw it, like, I was like, oh crap, like I just better relax because they need a relaxation too.
Yeah.
I can't expect them to feel like, okay, mom, because yeah, you're right. We have our bad days, like they will as well, no matter.
Yep.
So it just happens. So yeah, no, I think that's good to talk about it because in the end, I think a lot of people forget that you're not that they're people forget that they're not alone. Because I did,
Yeah.
because I was like when you were telling me what's going on, I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's me, that's me. And so I'm glad that we got to kind of talk about it and and tell everybody it's okay. Like
Yeah.
if
So normal.
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
online, everybody's like, have self-care, for us, but we forget like the kids also, like
That's it.
the
Yep.
self-care for sure. And
Yep.
it's a lot. I think it's a lot for them,
Mm.
it's not for us, but like, and me, I do get stressed out, like high stress, so it's like I'm getting it, like they definitely. Like,
100%. Absolutely.
My poor lovely children are probably like, oh, there she goes, there she blows, They're like, there she's waiting. But I'm like, but it's good that I think, because sometimes I think too when we do client work, I think it's nice that I fix other people's problems. I have to fix mine. I think
Yep.
when I do that, I think about it. I was like,
Yep.
I don't think about what my issues. So at least I get to work on that. So I think that's a good thing too. And I think it's like like in a sense a self break, because like you're not focused on you, like you're doing stuff for other people.
Yeah.
Which is nice, like, and you get to help them in whatever that they're doing in their business. So
Yep.
yeah, so it's kind of like a joy. And I think that's what it is. Like even like we were talking about earlier about the community that we have in our industry. It's nice, because in the end, like we're all in the same industry. We're all, doing the same things for other businesses. But it's just like you said, we can go into, our community and be like, hey, I need help with this. Does anybody know? And it's nice not having to feel like, oh crap, like if I post this, then they're going to take my client and then I'm not going to have and I'm going to be broken. Like, but we're on lockdown. You don't have that stress on top of everything else,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of, our community that we have. And we're all in the same industry. And there's a lot of us who do a lot of the same thing. But the benefit, and that's a benefit though, because that if you are super stuck with something, you can go, I need short-term help for this. Is there a VA that can actually help? And you don't worry about losing a client, because for the most part, most people in the industry are really great and happy to help out, even if it's 3 hours that you just need, something's going to take this long, so that someone will be able to help. And that's the beauty that we've got in that it's so friendly and warm, and everyone is so willing to help. And even when you've got a question about something that you're not quite sure on, everyone's more than happy to answer and help you, and just be like, hey, if you need more help, send me an email or a message and I'll help you out. And they do that just because that's what we do. Everyone helps everyone, and there's no worry that they're going to pinch your client. There's no worry that, oh, by the way, I've just helped you out, I'm going to send you an invoice for that or anything. Everyone just helps everyone. And I think it helps a lot of people knowing that we do have that backup. And especially now, given that there's a number of VAs whose work is significantly reduced because their clients are also in lockdown, so they've slowed down. So there's a number of them who are able to help, whereas there's other VAs who are just swamped because none of their clients like mine are affected by being in lockdown. And you're like, so when am I going to get all the work done? So there's always people there to help if you really do need it. And that's why I love our community and our groups that we've got, because they're just, everyone's so lovely.
That's
it's
true.
We're not competitive.
Yes. And it's what we talked about earlier too. It's like you can say, like I was saying earlier, like you can say like, oh well, I do social because I really do like I do socials, and then you do socials. But it's like you could both do socials, but like if one specific client might need social, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean like they're gonna resonate with both of you. So like to me, it's just like if you
Exactly.
get that client, like yay, like I'm more than happy because they don't resonate, or vice versa. Or why would I want to steal? Like sometimes the stuff that I like see in other places is like they steal it. It's like why? Like
Yeah.
like if you're not like it's kind of like when you cheat on somebody, like karma's gonna come
Yeah.
back to you anyway. So
Yeah.
it's like why? It's just like you get there and you like it. And I think it's more when it's same vice versa. The client resonates with you, but you also have to resonate with the client. So it's like even
100%.
if they're paying you like let's say $1 million an hour, but you're not resonate with them, you're not gonna do the work right. And number
Yeah.
two, you're just not even gonna do the right work because you can't communicate properly of what
Yeah.
you see. So it's like to me, like with clients, I'd rather have a good client than like try to find the best ones, or the
100%. And I'm so grateful that my clients that I've got on understand that, the situation where most of my clients are in some sort of lockdown between Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
So they all get it. But they also know that I'm a single mum, so they know that I'm trying to juggle doing everything. And because I have such a good relationship with all of them, they're all super understanding. And that's what I love, knowing that I've got these clients that just get it because, and I love working with them because they're really great people, but we connect very, very well. And that's what is so super important when you've got, especially now, it's really, really important having those understanding clients and not. And the beauty about what we do is that you can actually pick your client, I guess. You could talk with a client and think on paper, okay, I really want to do that work and that's going to be really great, but then talk to them and go, that doesn't fit with me or what I do, or I don't get the right vibe.
Same, because it's funny, it's like when I first started my VA business, I was like so happy to get this one client. I was super excited. Yes. And then it went in and I was like, oh man, like and it's not their fault, like that's their business. I'm not gonna like that's but at the same time I was like, oh wow, like that's a lot of, I don't know, can you hear my kids? I'm sorry. Can you hear that? Okay. Yeah, but I think that's
standard lockdown mom business, running a business.
You should see exactly what happened. One of the interviews I had, she like came in and I was like, oh, and then the other one, she like literally just started recording. She's like, Mom, and I was like, oh, hello. Like, but
it happens. All the time.
Yeah. And it's just like I have so many videos of it. Like I should make a little clip it. It was just like the kids just like, just like, whatever. Yeah. But I think that's what it is with clients. You have to connect with them. No matter what. Like, and I know it took me a while to kind of get to this point, but I'm so glad that like I went through that and knowing who I would like to work with. And same with them. Like, do you want to work with me? If you don't,
that's the thing, exactly. And I think that's what we forget, when searching for clients, and when you start, you're so excited to get on, your first, second, third client. You're like, yes, income. But the longer you're in it, you realize, okay, and this is the type of person I want to work with, and I don't want to work with that person. And you don't have to work with someone.
Not like a job where it's like
that's the thing.
Get put together.
Exactly. And as you were right that like clients can turn around and go, no, I don't want to work with you because, for whatever reason, someone pitched a little bit better. If it's a case of different rates, well, it's different rates. But, sometimes they feel they don't gel with you either. We've got to remember that we're 100% in that same position where we can go, it's not the right fit for me. Because if it's not, you're just not going to produce the work that is needed, and you're not going to be motivated to want to do it. Because every time you get to do the work, you'll be like, I don't want to do this.
And I think that's the thing.
And you're like, oh.
I think that's the thing. So it's like, what if another VA loves that stuff, and
exactly.
It's like, I'd rather just like you could have all of it because I just don't. I can't do it. Like I don't want to. I can't yell at my clients and be like, take this, like, so it's good to like be like connected with them. So so I'm glad like I'm even glad like we got to do this because it's like, like we met I think last December and it's like obviously lovely lockdowns and stuff, and obviously because we were gonna have the September Christmas or
I know
didn't really happen. But at the same time, it's
That's
like
what I'm
now,
gonna.
yeah. But at the same time, it's like it's nice to have that community in that space and like just be able to talk to
Yeah.
everybody and that again, not alone. So I think that's what I want to take away from all of this. Like you're not alone. You know, you're doing awesome. And as long as you're trying, like that's where it all fits. And your clients will see that. And like you said, like I've missed up. Like I was supposed to post something and I didn't realize till the
Yeah.
next day. And now as I missed my client, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like
Yeah.
they're okay with it. They're like, don't worry. And I was like, okay, good, you know?
And that's the thing. And they understand, you know, I've had to explain, you know, I'm like, I'm in lockdown trying to do home learning and it's not going to happen. This week. I'm like, it's just not. And
unless it's urgent, like, of course.
100%. But I'm like, for something that can wait, it's going to wait a little bit. But, you know, because I don't want to be sending emails at 1 o'clock every single night. Yes, exactly. So, you know, there is a bit of balance that we're trying to get. So, and you're right. We've got to remember, we feel like sometimes when you work from home or when you work from home permanently, like we do, you can feel very isolated. So it's nice to know that everyone else is kind of feeling that same pressure and stress, and everyone else is going, oh, when am I going to get it all done? And, you know, I feel better to know I'm not the only one that sends emails at stupid times in the morning.
Yeah, because then they come, she goes, it's 2 o'clock. And I'm like, I get honest, I didn't even realize. I think it was just like, I had to do it. My 2-year-old was acting up all night, didn't want to go to bed. It was like 12 o'clock. And I'm just like, I still got to get done. But at the same time, it was like, I'm glad that my clients were like, was cool. Like, not that they were probably like, God, what a weirdo. But they're like, I get it. And they were just like, I get it. I feel you. And you got the work done. Like, you know what I mean? And they know, they're understanding. Yeah. And that's it. The relationship with your client. They're just like, okay, cool. Like, you know, like. Exactly. I don't have to stress, because sometimes too, if I think about it, if I had the other client and I message her at 2 a.m. in the morning, they're going to go, that's out of the thing that we're paying. So I'm not going to pay. You know, like you have to think about that stuff. It's just kind of like, they're just kind of like, oh, I get it. Cool. Yeah. About it. Like, and then that's the best thing. They go, yeah, okay. They're not going, oh, if you're doing that at 1 o'clock, oh, does that mean you're not doing stuff during the day? Like, I don't know if no, you're right, because I'm not doing stuff during the day, because I'm trying to do home learning with 2 children who don't want to. And I'm having arguments about no one likes the food in the house. Yeah, exactly. So yes, I am emailing you at 1 a.m. But they're fine with it. There's they're not going, oh, like that's not professional or whatever. Yeah, it's amazing. Get it. And the right client does. Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's really good. It just kind of ties all in all. That is just like, yes, we're all stressed out. You know, yes, but at the same time, you do have a community. You have two people to reach out to. And I think even now, if anybody's listening to this, I think if you guys are just even if you don't know, to me, just reach out, like, hey, I had a question, because I think it's nice to just have somebody to bounce ideas off, or just being like, yes, you're not alone. Don't worry about it. You're trying your best. I mean, obviously, there's people out there that are just not doing anything. Good on you, I guess. But at the same time, people that are trying, dude, it's okay. We got this. It's kind of thing. So. Well, thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for sharing with me, and thank you for that tip of the Mentify, because I think I'll do it. I encourage everyone to do it. Yeah, I need to. Do not tell all the schools that it was my idea to take every Friday off. Please, I don't want everyone's school ring me. No, but it's just it's good. You really need it. It is register it, like I did. I sent it through on the attendance thing for the school of my mental health day, and that's what I'm registering it as. And I think we all deserve it. So I think everyone should try and do it, even once a fortnight. Just to give everyone a break. Yeah. Because I think too, they're like, oh well, you have the weekends. It's like, well, you do this until I gotta catch up on laundry. Make sure the house looks a little bit cleaner. Things are not all over the place. So it's like when you have that day of just nothing, you're not doing nothing, no chores, but just I don't even say relaxing, but just enjoying each other, and not rushing around trying to do all of the things. 100%. Love it. Well, thank you again, and thank you. Wonderful week, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.